Hey there. I hope you had an awesome Thanksgiving. I did. It was super fun. Kids back in the house, lots of dogs, lots of family, lots of food, just now getting it out of the fridge. If you're like me, you're just trying to make it through the holidays without eating your face off at every single possible event and family gathering. I'm going to cover today 9 or 10 of my absolute favorite strategies, tips, and hacks for not eating my face off at holiday events, but actually allowing myself some joy in food and also not trying to diet or maintain perfect nutrition during the holidays. So, if that sounds good, let's dive right in. Number one, the first thing I really try to do is remind myself that what is my goal here? And everyone can have a different goal for the holiday season. You will know, however, that you may not have the right goal for you if you find that during or after holiday events or even before, you feel already guilt, anxiety, or hopelessness around the whole event and your nutrition. This is completely unnecessary because one day, as you hopefully have heard, of overindulging or just eating for joy is never going to undo a lot or a lifetime or even several weeks of good health intentions and positive health behaviors. So this one day and I've blown it, our primitive brain really latches onto that and just says, girl, you obviously ate enough to gain 12 pounds overnight. No, you didn't. It's physically impossible for you to gain real multiple pounds of fat overnight or probably even in a couple of days. So honestly, don't weigh the day after a holiday. It doesn't matter. First thing is set your intention and your goal. My goal is enjoy food and spend quality time and feel joy with the people that I love. Your goal may be, I'm going to go in there and eat every single thing I see and that I want and not feel bad about it. Your goal might be, I am on a plan, I am in a cut, I am on a diet, and I am sticking exactly to my nutrition plan. That's okay too. You get to choose. The healthy thing to do is choose in advance because the only time we feel all that guilt and hopelessness and anxiety around a holiday is if we think we didn't perform in alignment with whatever we meant to do, right? Figure out what your intention is, what your goal is for the day, and then go with it. Second strategy. Before you go to the event or the party, you don't need to fast unless fasting is part of your normal everyday routine. If fasting is new for you, choosing the day of a big eating event is probably not the best day to do it because your primitive brain is already going to be in I need food mode when you walk in, and you might be a little more inclined to overindulge. Now, I've already said that I don't think overindulging is bad or wrong on a holiday, so who cares if you overindulge? I'm talking about physically eating until you're in pain, which can easily happen on a day like Thanksgiving or Christmas. So if you're not a normal faster, don't skip meals in order to prepare for the big event. In fact, I love to tell the women in my community, just stick to our normal 4 simple behaviors first thing in the morning that help regulate those appetite hormones, regulate your metabolism, and really set you up for a healthy relationship with food for the rest of the day. And that is a liter of water, a couple of thousand steps to get those insulin receptors activated in the morning, a 3-point breakfast, which has some fruit and vegetables and some protein, and some gratitude, which puts you in a really good mindset. And one of the things we can be thankful for is that there's so much food available to me and there's not going to be too little at this party, right? Next, what to take? What are you going to take? I always like to take one ginormous veggie dish that is my personal favorite, but that also I know is a crowd pleaser. So I do take vegetables, but it is not because of diet mentality. It's because I love to eat them and I love to have them there for other people also. So when I say take some veggies, I am not talking about a little Ziploc baggie of baby carrots in your pocket for you to nibble on. If it's something you enjoy, then by all means, take your baby carrots, take your hairy water celery too, if you want to. I like to take something that I really love to eat. So my favorite is this giant platter of roasted vegetables with a balsamic vinaigrette. And if you take it enough years, people will start asking, hey, are you bringing that thing you always bring? So I know that I have something delicious to fill some part of my plate with that is going to provide me with some fiber, provide me with some incredible flavor, and also help blunt that blood sugar response if that's even something that you're looking into. And I'm not saying that you need to be worried about your blood sugar all the time, or especially on Thanksgiving, unless you have a medical condition that necessitates that you do that. While I'm talking about a medical condition, let me remind you that although I'm a doctor, I'm not your doctor. And any information that I provide here is strictly for your education and not considered to be personal recommendations for you. Next strategy. Okay, on arrival, I do like to go ahead when I walk in and get something to drink in my hand that is a non-sweetened or non-calorie beverage. I like a bubbly water. I love a cup of hot coffee or hot tea, but for me, coffee is my thing. The hot beverage is actually really satisfying and filling, and caffeine is a great appetite suppressant. So, although I'm not talking about dieting while I'm there, I'm also not wanting to treat my body like a trash compactor. I don't have to just gobble everything that's there. And if you're not a gobbler, good for you. So, having a drink in my hand helps me not want to just gobble, gobble, gobble. This leads me to the next strategy, which I call the gas station strategy or my gas station comparison. So for me, if I'm checking out appetizers and nibblers, I also have a little rule where I say, if I can buy it at a gas station, I'm not eating it on Thanksgiving unless that's all there is. But if there's this incredibly wonderful food being offered on the buffet, I'm actually trying not to fill up on things I can buy at a gas station. I am prioritizing here. I have a strategy. I have a joy food strategy for today. So I like to use the 3 S's. I am prioritizing foods that are special because these are things that I think are incredibly delicious and I wouldn't make them for myself normally. They're seasonal. We only eat them this time of year. They're sentimental. They represent a person or a time in my life that was really special to me. So for me, it's my mom's banana pudding or my mom's 4-layer delight or a pumpkin roll. I've got a strategy for approaching the whole thing, and I don't start filling my plate until I have checked out all the options. I need to walk all the way to the end and look. Again, I'm not dieting, but I'm not trash compacting either. I want to make sure that I'm prioritizing the small amount of space that I have in my stomach for foods that really mean something to me or are really worth it on the joy meter, right? Next, what about food pushers? What about the aren't you going to get seconds, or I made this just for you? And I actually do a whole workshop on this inside my community of how to deal with holidays and especially triggering people. And we've been around and around with so many solutions. And honestly, I'll tell you one that works almost every time. Just blame it on a doctor. Just say, oh, my doctor put me on this special eating plan. I'm really trying to stick to it. You don't need to defend yourself and you don't need to over-explain on whatever your choices are. So this also goes for the other way. If you have maybe said in the past you were trying not to have sugar and now here you are on Thanksgiving loading down and someone feels the need to inject their opinion into your plate, you can just always go, oh, my doctor said for one day it's fine. Just blame it on a doctor somewhere and don't over-explain yourself. You don't have to. Finally, before you go back for refills, at this point, the likelihood of you truly being hungry and me truly being hungry is negative. I am not hungry at this point. So even though I want to go back, I try to force myself to stop, have some water, and have a conversation, like a buffer zone between refills. That sometimes will help me take a moment and register, wow, I've really had enough. So having a little buffer, taking a breather, and giving myself time for a conversation is a great way to just remind me that, okay, lady, you are so not hungry and you're probably going to be sick if you don't stop now. So there are some tips and strategies to help you not overeat habitually and especially avoid that guilt, shame cycle around the holidays, which is completely not helpful to you and doesn't actually help you change your behavior. So that said, I want to invite you to check out my monthly membership, Age Like a Boss. We are getting through the holidays together with a really simple, easy, gentle, and doable holiday challenge called the 4x9 Challenge. If you'd like a sneak peek on what some of those morning habits are, you can download the freebie below. I'd love to see you in there, where we are supporting each other every month with new challenges, sticking to this simple healthy and loving boundaries that we are putting on our health to age like a boss. Have a great one. See you soon.